Sure.
Okay.
I think we've been talking about the relationship between China and the US and every other countries. Whenever we're talking about a relationship, it reminds me of an American saying, it takes two to tango. And both have to dance with the same music and the same tune. And regarding our relationship with China, China has not been dancing to the same tune with all of us. During the dance, whether it's economic or politics or anything else, China step on our toe, kick on our knee, pick our pockets, and we blame ourselves. We blame ourselves that we are not a good dancer. So I think I'm totally agree with many of our speakers that right now is a good time for us to take another look at that kind of relationship, to reshape it, to establish a rule-based behavior. And I think the key. Should I continue?
Yes.
Continue. No. Yes.
Yeah.
This is Hamada, and my microphone is now on.
Okay, so do later. You after Mr. Nam Pham finish, you talk later. After follow Nam Pham. Nam Pham continue.
Okay.
Yes, and in Massachusetts, we have had a good relationship, a trading relationship with many countries. And our experience with China, I'd like to share with you a couple of examples. Northeastern University in 2018 did studies on how the trade deficit between Massachusetts and China had impacted our economy. And it concluded that between the year 2000 and 2017, it cost Massachusetts almost 100,000 jobs in manufacturing. So that's, I think we need to keep in mind. And also, we are talking about the benefit of trading with China over the last 40 years since Nixon and Kissinger opened up China and the US and the world. I'm just wondering if we somehow, some of our big academic would make a cost analysis between that benefit against the cost of COVID, which caused by basically many mistakes by China, and make that comparison between the cost to our economies, which I think Professor from David from business school mentioned earlier, the cost to our economies, the cost to human lives. I'm not sure it has been beneficial to all of us or as much as we think. And regarding thinking, I think our relationship with China has been based on a kind of wishful thinking. We wish that, we hope that by engaging China will be more like us. But I don't think we pay attention enough to the value system of China, especially the Chinese Communist government, is quite different from us, from the value we put on human lives to the rule of law. During world trade activities, for example, there's always some business intellectual theft. Companies steal from others. But China is the first example that is not a company, but it's a country. It has been the Chinese national policy to steal from us. So that's, I think, very, very important. Governor Dukakis also asked a very, I think, pointed questions, whether or not we are, US and China are going to a Cold War. I think a better question would be, how are we going to defend ourselves from Chinese government attacks? Because China has been attacking all of us. They use all the kind of weapons that at their disposal. It may not be a gun shooting at us, but many weapons that have been used to attacking the Western world. And also, I think for many countries that were Chinese, that are Chinese neighbors, Japan, Vietnam, you name it, Philippines, it's not a hysterical saying that China is invading us or China is going to cause a lot of problem, because China has been doing that. So I think if we're looking at that relationship, we should also try to see what kind of behaviors, what kind of consequences that behavior would cause. Lim mentioned earlier, there need to be some negative consequences. You have to drop the rock on 2 feet if they behave badly. And for our relationship, our experience with China, we have not done that. We have not been critical enough, but we more are blaming ourselves. So Miriam mentioned earlier that we need to talking about human rights because it's a moral obligation. I think it's more than just a moral obligation. It's a responsibility for our leaders to talk about human rights, to do something about abuses of human rights, because it's a real threat to our existence. And regarding trade, any country, if we look around, any country that respects human rights, they are much, much better trading partner than any country that did not share that basic value. So I think it's more than an opportunity to review our relationship with China, but we better do it quick before it's too late. Thank you.